Will Congress face a reckoning over sexual misconduct allegations? The Department of Justice now investigating disgraced Democrat Congressman Eric Swalwell after multiple women came forward claiming he sexually assaulted them. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office, as well as the Los Angeles DA's office, now reportedly investigating Swalwell for criminal charges as well. But Swalwell is not the only member of Congress now facing sexual misconduct allegations. Joining us now, former New York Congressman George Santos, who is no stranger to controversy himself, having spent time behind bars for a fraud conviction before Trump commuted his sentence. George, thank you so much for joining us. And again, it's not just Swalwell. Another Democrat congressman, Tony Gonzales of Texas, he also resigned this week after his affair with a young staffer was exposed. The woman then sadly committed suicide. George, tell me, while you were in Congress, how pervasive was sexual misconduct? Because we are hearing now from people that there were these rumors swirling for a while now.
Well, Lydia, thank you for having me. And I think it's important to address the American people deserve transparency when it comes to talking about how their lawmakers and their representatives behave. The rumors that now we all know are true, based on the accusations made by several women against Eric Swalwell, are not exclusive to Eric. These rumors, I served in Congress 11 months, and during 11 months, a lot of these guys got one advantage out of me being there. The entire national press was hyper-focused on my scandal, while they got away with a lot of their stuff just being left aside because, again, reporters are just human. They can cover so much. When you look at what Eric Swalwell is accused of, it is not something just exclusive to him. In my time in Congress, I heard rumors about Nancy Mace having an affair with staffers. I heard rumors about Tony Gonzales having an affair with staffers, or former Congressman Matt Rosendale. And the list goes on and on and on. And obviously, these are all allegations, and we can't prove them until victims come forward. And that's why I've spent the greater part of the last week encouraging victims to come forward, to go out there and speak their truth, because there's no place in government for young women, specifically young women, to be targets of predatory behavior by the men who are elected to serve us in Congress.
Are the young women, are they protected enough in Congress?
No, they're not. And I've said this repeatedly. They're not. You know, it's funny thing. One of the most egregious things I heard when I was in the House was it was coming close to being summer, and we had just done selection for interns, and older men in senior staff positions and some members of Congress made the simple comment of saying, oh, great, it's skin turns season, essentially alluding to the young women that were going to be coming onto the Hill to learn from us. Instead, we were already having these conversations of, you know, how much skin they were going to be showing. It's just so disgraceful that this is the world we live in, where our elected officials are using their power to leverage their own personal libido in office. It's just absolutely bad. It
really is. And members of Swalwell's Cool Kids clique also accused of misconduct. His besties, known on the Hill for their partying. Gallego infamously cheated on his wife while she was pregnant. He handed her divorce papers while she was pregnant. Gomez accused of kissing a much younger congressional aide. Apparently, everyone knew that Swalwell was a womanizer, but they just said he was flirty. Take a listen to this.
On the third occasion, I believe he drugged my drink. I only had one glass of wine. I arrived at his hotel room. I was already incapacitated, and I couldn't move my arms or my body. He raped me, and he choked me.
Well, that was from one of Swalwell's accusers right there. What goes through your mind to hear something like that, and what do you think needs to happen in Congress?
Lydia, it breaks my heart. I believe every word she's saying. You can see it in her face. It's disheartening to imagine that women are this vulnerable on Capitol Hill. Look, I had a policy in my office that was very clear. No dating in the office, and I thought it was just for the greater good of keeping things without getting too complicated. And I stand by that. You know, a lot of the staffers would get very upset at me for having that policy, but I put that in my office contract, and I think it's something that should be done in every office. And I think that we need to have something equivalent to an HR in DC because we don't have an HR for staffers. Staffers can resort to an office that has no teeth, and it's called the Office of Congressional Ethics. And it's quite a joke of an office. It's often weaponized by watchdog groups, and they really pay no attention to staff issues like this. And it's so sad. And what this young woman experienced at the hands of Congressman Swalwell is absolutely reprehensible, and the American people deserve better than this. And I really hope that justice is served and that she has a little bit of peace by seeing her tormentor being held accountable for what he did to her.
Santos, George, is it just Swalwell? Is it just Gomez? I mean, are there a lot more that we don't know about?
There's a lot more. Look, there's a lot, Lydia. I'm going to be very blunt with you. There's a lot more. You have members of Congress accused of beating women like Max Miller in Ohio. You have members of Congress accused of having, orgies with women escorts for hire. There is such a chaotic layer of corruptness and deceitful behavior taking place. I think this is the opportunity for victims to come forward and turn this into the Me Too version of politics so we can purge DC of all the wrongdoing. So finally, the focus can be working for the American people and not being blackmailed by their misdeeds on Capitol Hill.
Tell it all, George. Tell it all, right? Why not? The truth,
Let it all out. The truth will set you free, Lydia.
I
know that for personal experience.
What's in the dark will always come to the light. George Santos, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you, Lydia.